Hello everyone, welcome to AD Academy. Let's learn about conditional sentences. What are conditional sentences? The name itself suggests we'll be telling some conditions. Can be some probabilities, can be some real factors, universal things, universal facts, or any hypothetical situations. We can use conditional sentences. And there are four different types of conditional sentences. We can learn it one by one. First, we can check the definition. So before going to the slide, I need to suggest something that if you are clear of the concepts of tense forms, otherwise you are very aware about the 12 tense form, it is okay. This conditional sentence will be very easy for you. Otherwise, if you are not clear about the tense concept, please do rewatch the tense video of mine or any other videos. So otherwise, read the rules and come back and watch this. So we can start. Here is the introduction to conditional sentences. These are the sentences that discuss non-factors or hypothetical situations and their consequences. Can be the cause and effect as a result. What happens when something goes like this, like that? We'll be imagining. So they consist of two parts. Mainly, yeah, there is one example sentence I have given here. If it rains, I will stay home. So do you know about a dependent clause and an independent clause? Okay, we can divide this one sentence into two parts. If it rains, I will stay home. Whenever we add this word if or unless, that to an independent clause, it becomes dependent. Okay, to put in an easy way, if it rains, I will stay home. I will stay home. What if I say this alone? I will stay home. That's a complete standalone sentence and it has a meaning of its own. But if I say, if it rains, then I stop my conversation. It is incomplete. So if it rains, this part, some other words to complete its meaning. If it rains, I will stay home. Entirely is a complete standalone sentence, but it has two parts. Whenever we study the four conditional sentences, we need to change the tense form in between, in the dependent part and the dependent part. While we balance it, like otherwise you learn it like an equation, it will be very easy for you. And also we can swap the order. You don't need to start the sentence with if it rains. You can also start the sentence with the independent part as well. I will stay home if it rains. There, can you identify the change what happened there? Yeah, you don't need to use the comma there in between the sentences. Okay, sentence. Yeah, so the structure is like this. They consist of two parts. One is the if clause, otherwise the condition we will be saying usually starts with if or unless. We all have dreams. We will be telling something like, if I had money, I will buy something, like that. Okay, and there will be a main clause as the result, the outcome of the condition. I will buy a new car. I'll buy a new home. So the first condition is zero conditional sentence, otherwise general truth. Earth is rotating. We all know that. So that's a general truth. Sun rises in the east. First one is zero conditional, otherwise general truth. There will be some habitual actions so that you can use it in this sentence, zero conditional, other for for facts and like that. Scientific laws and general truth. If plus simple present, and in the independent part you can use the simple present tense. That is the equation like structure for this. If you heat water to 100 degrees Celsius, it boils. That is a truth. There is no probability there. It should happen. And the keynote is the result is always certain. So that's why it is known as general truth. Example, the other example sentence, if you mix red and blue, you get purple. So if you mix red and blue is a condition sentence. And I have used the simple present tense from there. And in the independent sentence, you get independent clause, you get purple. That is in simple present. Again, next sentence. If the red light flashes on the printer, flashes. That is in simple present. Next, it means the paper is jammed. There also, you will get in simple present tense. And you can identify more example sentences for these. Next is first conditional. Otherwise, the real possibilities. We will be talking about the real future situations. Usage future situations that are likely to or possibly happen. Form if plus simple present, comma, in the independent part it becomes will plus verb first form. If I study hard, that's a simple present tense. I will pass the exam. So will plus verb first form, that is will pass. We can only use first form of the verb with will. I will pass the exam. If I yeah, it is used for promises, warnings or realistic plans. That is first conditional. Example sentences are that if you arrive at the party early, I will introduce you to my sister. So if plus simple present in the dependent clause, like in the if clause, and in the independent part I have used will introduce. That should be in simple present. Can I use like this? If you arrive at the party early, I could do it like that. No. Can I use it like this? Like if you arrive at the party early, I would have introduced you. No, I cannot use it like this. If you are using simple present in the dependent clause, you need to use this will in the independent part when it makes the condition like it is first conditional. Otherwise, the real possibilities. Next sentence: if the storm gets worse, the flight will be cancelled. That's also a future realistic situation. Next, second conditional or unreal or imaginary situation. So for hypothetical scenarios in the present or future, things that are unlikely to happen. Example, if plus simple past. We'll be speaking about the past. Something that imaginary. In the dependent part, it becomes would plus were. So if I won the lottery, that is a past, simple past, or just V2 I have used. In the independent part, I would travel the world, or I would travel around the world. Next, use were instead of was for all subjects. If I were you, not if I was you. For plurals, you can use were and also. We can use were when I am using a singular pronoun she. If I were she, if she were an alien, if he were the American president. So in this particular scenario only, you can use the you can, like what to say, you can violate the subject verb agreement rule because we are speaking about an imaginary situation. In the other cases, you can adhere to the subject verb agreement rule, like you can use a singular verb for the singular noun. Okay. So if I were a billionaire, I would buy a private island. So would plus verb. Next, for giving advice. If I had his phone number, I would call him right now, implying that the speaker do not have that. Next, for third conditional, otherwise it's like regrets or and past hypothesis. So situations that did not happen in the past and their imaginary result. We all are like experts in imagining. So if plus simple past, sorry, past perfect, that is had plus V3, and you can use would would have plus past participle. Otherwise V3 in the independent part. So if we had left earlier, we would have caught the train. Next, this is often used to express regret or criticism. So if I had studied more for the final, I would have graduated with honors. Next, if the driver had seen the stop sign, the accident would not have happened. So this is about the regrets and about the past hypothesis. So I'm structured like this. It's very easy to understand. For zero conditional, universal truth or facts. Probability is 100%. As the result is same. If you heat ice, it melts. That is 100% we are sure about it. So the structure is if plus symbol present. In the independent after comma comes the independent part. I am just structured it like this. And for the first conditional, it's a time frame is in future. High, likely, realistic. It should be realistic, or there are possibility of it should happen. So if plus symbol present, comma will plus verb. And for second condition, it can be in present or future. It is unlikely to happen. Otherwise, it is imaginary. If plus past symbol past, would plus verb. And for the third, that is criticism or regret about the past. Past is zero like zero probability of something happen from the past. Otherwise, we need to time travel. If plus past perfect, so comma would have plus v3. So please do take a screenshot of this table. So do study hard. Uh, like an equation, you can study this very easy. So thank you all for listening to the class. So see you in the next session.